What is up, fellow Yu-Gi-Oh fans? If you didn't know already, I am the one and only Glenguin. Welcome to my channel. Boys and girls, today I am showcasing you my True Draco deck profile for March 2019. And boys and girls, if you do like this video, then please consider smashing that like button and hitting the subscriber button on this channel. We are 1100 people going strong so far. We're building up an entire great community. And also, please consider tuning into my live streams. We do a lot of Let's Go Pikachu live streaming for shiny hunting, if that tickles your pickle. Or if you would like to actually see some more Yu-Gi-Oh deck profiles from me, please leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll see what I can do for you. But right now, let's get into the deck profile. We're going to start with the monsters themselves. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. Dynamite Knight, the True Draco fighter. So he is only limited for a certain reason. most of your monsters are all tribute summons, and that is by continuous spell or traps that I control instead of monsters. And once per turn during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control this tribute summon monster, you can take one True Draco or True King continuous trap card from your deck and either activate it or add it to your hand. So this deck is really good for actually shutting down Salad Boys, and if I say Salad Boys it means Salad Greats. It's still one of the best rogue decks out there, and if you go get a really good first turn, which is really good because the deck is so consistent. So I'll show you the draw power very soon also, and if you set all these cards first turn, you're more likely going to pop them and you're actually going to destroy your opponent, and they can't actually make a board or set up after. Next best card is 3 Ignis Heat, the True Draco Warrior, and obviously he can actually allow you to take a continuous spell from your deck and either add it to your hand or activate it. And then last but not least is Majesty Maiden. I think most people know what these decks do these days. There is tons upon tons of True Draco decks on the internet and around YouTube right now, and shout outs to every big YouTuber out there. They're never going to shout me out, obviously, I'm such a small channel, but big shout outs to all of them for actually giving me the ideas behind the deck profile. Also, obviously there's no such thing as plagiarism in Yu-Gi-Oh. This is how the deck is supposed to run. I'm just playing it, and obviously it's really consistent, and that's why it runs the way it does. And obviously it's on my channel, so if you haven't seen it on other people's channels, then it's really good that you've actually seen it on my channel also. So that's why I'm actually shouting out all the other YouTubers. So we're only playing 7 monsters, and you're thinking, Glenguin, why are you not playing Amano Iwato? I don't want to waste my normal summon on Amano Iwato, especially for first turn. I really want to be consistent with this deck. As for spell cards, the usual Dragonic Diagram. Obviously this card can pop one other card on the field. Most likely your True Draco cards are on the field, spells and traps, and then when your spells and traps are sent to grave, they get an additional effect from spell trap zone when they are sent to grave by actually popping spells and traps on the field or popping a monster on the field, but I'll show you those very, very shortly. Double Terraforming, self-explanatory, also semi-limited. As for the True Draco cards, we haven't changed a single thing on them. True Draco Heritage, obviously when this card is sent, you can actually pop a spell trap card on the field and destroy it. Then we play Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. I know I feel like a bit of a scrub because now I'm playing 1 super rare and like 2 commons. However you want to play it, it's all the same text, do not worry. And obviously this can also target a spell trap card on the field and destroy it. So really, really good, solid cards for the deck. Then we play double Monarch's Erupt. Obviously I haven't taken full advantage of this card because I know Monarch's Erupt is at 3, but I feel like for consistency reasons we're always going to go into this card, and obviously we can also floodgate your opponent with it. So fantastic card. I'm so glad Konami brought that back to 3. And draw power is double Pot of Duality. I didn't want to risk it, so I'm only playing the 1 Pot of Desires. I'm too scared to run 2, so obviously I don't want to lose all my good cards, so I'm only playing the 1 Desires. And obviously mega draw power, Card of Demise at 3 for a very good reason. Obviously it allows you to draw 3, much better than Pot of Greed. And by the way, boys and girls, leave me a comment in the comment section. What does Pot of Greed do, by the way? I'm still stumped. I don't know to this day what Pot of Greed does either. So there's my spell cards. Card of Demise is such a great card in this day and age, and especially in this format. Then we have Waterfall Dragon Souls at 1. These are my trap cards. This allows you to add a worm type monster from your deck to your hand. So let's say you have this in your hand and you set it, you can activate it next turn, and then obviously you can bring your cards to your hand. So really good card if you haven't already gone into your monsters. Like I said, you're playing more spells and traps than you are monsters. There's only 7 monsters in this deck, but most of the time you are always going to be bringing a True Draco card from your deck to your hand. So it really does not matter how many monsters. Well, it kind of does for consistency reasons. But I said that under my breath. But the next trap card is True Draco Apocalypse, and then obviously this card actually allows you, this works like Escalation of the Monarchs. So with Escalation of the Monarchs, it's basically the same effect for the second effect. So during your opponent's main phase, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, you can tribute summon one True Draco card or True King monster face up. Now, I was actually playtesting Escalation of the Monarchs because it can actually floodgate your opponent during battle phase, but because it's like, this is more situational for True Dracos, so obviously we're playing Apocalypse over that, and because you can run more of these, it's just so much easier. So don't run any other Monarch stuff, like Tenacity of the Monarchs, don't even try it. It's just really pointless to play. One True King's Return as a Monster Reborn effect also, really good card. Then we play Bald Wipers. When I say Bald Wipers, they are the effect wipers. They wipe balds. Monarch's Erupt obviously negates your opponent's monster effects, and then the one god card, the one skill drain. In case these three go, I know that I've got a skill drain as backup. And then I play double Rivalry of Warlords, and usually the case of me actually siding Gozen Match now, because I was running Gozen Match for certain matchups, but because most of your monsters are wind, water and fire, if you have the OTK out where you have 3 monsters out on board, unfortunately if you have Gozen Match out or your opponent has Gozen Match out, they're actually going to destroy 2 other monsters on your field, so you're only going to be left with 1 anyway. So I really do recommend Rivalry of Warlords for certain decks. Not so much against Salad Boys or Salomon Greats as we call them. I don't really recommend it against that because they are all Cyburst monsters. So Rivalry of Warlords is like neither here nor there, but for a rogue deck, this deck is actually so solid though at the moment. And it's like going first or going second, it doesn't matter what you play, because we are running triple Solemn Strike to catch your opponent off guard. I don't see many people actually playing Solemns just because of Witch's Strike right now, but that card is just not important at the moment. You're not going to see many people playing Witch's Strike, especially for cards like Solemn Strike, so obviously your opponent are going to be shut down really quickly. And then last but not least, for my trap cards and the deck, double Storming Mirrorfalls, because when your opponent's monster declares an attack, it doesn't have to be a direct attack, it is just declares an attack. You're returning all attack position monsters your opponent controls to the hand. Obviously, they can set up again should they have the right cards, but 90% of the time I win using this card, and then they're going to pass turn, and then you're going to OTK them. As for the side deck, it's up to personal preference and what you boys and girls would like to play, but because I do not own triple Infinite Impermanence and they're expensive cards, I play triple Effect Veiler. I know it's so unfortunate, but Infinite Impermanence is getting a reprint very, very soon. Can't wait for that. Double Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. It's quite necessary if you're facing big boards and you want to break them, especially Crusadia Guard Dragons or any kind of Guard Dragon deck that makes, 3 to 4 negates at a time. At least you know that you can use Winged Dragon of Ra to actually break their boards. Double Ash Blossom and Joy of Spring. Triple Heavy Storm Duster for the back rows. This is all heavy back row destruction. I only play double Red Reboot. It's kind of all you need. This deck heavily loses to Red Reboot, obviously, because they're actually negating and stopping all your trap cards, and then obviously they're going to twin twist to it. I may side out this card. Like I said to you earlier, I'm not too sure about Gozen Match right now, but Gozen Match is in here for the time being. And then last but not least, we play one Imperial Order for Sky Striker matchup also. Boys and girls, I know this was a very short deck profile, but obviously there is a lot of these deck profiles out there, and mine isn't much different to everyone else's, but it's nice to jump on the YouTuber bandwagon and be a part of things. My name has been Glenguin. Thank you very much for watching, boys and girls, and Glenguin is signing out. Peace everyone, have a good day.